Welcome, Sagittarius, to the Temple of Consciousness. Please come in. My name is Ava, and I'm going to be your oracle and spiritual guide for an Astro Tarot forecast. And we are dealing now with the month of February 2025. This will be a reading that is relevant to you if your rising, your moon, or your sun sign is Sagittarius. So before we begin, I've been starting each of these readings with a deep apology. If you're new and you're saying, well, the sound is not good on your video, the lighting is not good, I am deeply aware of the problems, but I am literally trapped in this environment right now. Briefly, I'm a refugee from the hurricane tragedies of last October. I'd been living in Florida for 15 years, and I lost literally everything that I owned, valued, and loved. Prior to living in Florida, where I'd been for 15 years, I had lived in Hawaii. So I decided to return to Hawaii because I'm at least familiar with the environment. I lived on Maui for almost 18 years. But having arrived on Maui, I came to the conclusion that it would be better for economic reasons for me to try to live on the Big Island. So I looked on Craigslist and found a house with a tiny room, which I'm in right now, for rent, reasonable. And I thought, well, this would be a perfect place to transition. So I moved in, I bought a car, and there's a video I give you about that shows you where I'm living on my channel. But sometimes on Craigslist, things are not as they are advertised. And the conditions here are completely antithetical to what I was promised. I will be able to tell you more once I leave here, but it's just impossible for me to give you the kinds of clean and beautiful videos that I would love to give you. And that's coming soon because I found another place that's off-grid, which would be for me a dream come true. But I can't move in for about a month, and maybe even 2. So for a little while, I just want to beg you please to forgive me for this. I don't want to interrupt my video forecasts because of my own personal problems. But I'm losing a lot of subscribers. So please subscribe, share, like, and I love your messages of encouragement. That helps me more than anything else. So let's begin your reading. Sag. So what I do is I try to blend in just some brief indicators on the astrology side with a very simple 4-card tarot spread on the second half of this video. And then I try to bridge the two as best I can. So for the month of February 2025, we have Mars, the planet of aggression, forward moving energy, bold energy, in Cancer. And it's retrograde as well. Mars, the energy of Mars, is somewhat inhibited by the sign of Cancer. And of course now it's inhibited even more because it's in retrograde. Now let's see where Mars will fall in your chart. If we have Sagittarius being your first house, let's count it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. Mars falls in the 8th house, which also has symbolic meaning. The 8th house is the house of death, meaning deep transformation, which symbolically death is. You cannot have a greater symbol of transformation than death. Sometimes it could be literal death, but more often it's death on many other levels, spiritual and emotional and psychological, and environmental as well. So it deals with deep transformation. It also deals, they say, with taxes, meaning the obligation you have to the government, or the government has towards you. It also deals with shared resources, partnerships in which you share financial resources, the combination of which can be about inheritance, or it could be about financial obligations in a partnership, contracts within a contractual partnership. So now let's think about bringing all these symbols together. So in the areas of transformation, be that literally, that is, you experience a death, not your own. Rarely does it mean your own, obviously, but death of someone around you that then transforms your circumstances, the situation. This is why inheritance is often the implication of that. Now, shared resources is also, it can be affected by this Mars retrograde, pulling back, reassessing, reevaluating, restructuring, reprogramming, reviewing. Mars puts the brakes on. You can't move forward until you achieve something, complete something, review something, restructure something, reassess something in this area. It's in Cancer. Cancer is a very emotional sign. So these reviews, these reassessments, these reevaluations bring also with them a emotional burden, a heavier emotional burden. They cause you to feel it more deeply. So you may be trying to protect. Cancer is a sign of self-protection. Protect yourself, or your assets, or your partnership, or protect yourself from government intrusion, government invasion, a pushback from government, or you might be pushing back the government. Or in other words, there's some sort of interplay that causes emotional stress. Death, and this particular house is the house of Scorpio. it's very sexual too. So it might be also a sort of a pulling back sexually, or just a reassessment of your sexual drive, of your sexual relationships, or of your libido. Just there's a suppression, a pushing down, a reevaluation, a trying to control that impulse. So all of this is the mix, the sort of alchemical mix that's going on with Mars retrograde in your 8th house. Now, let's examine the transit of Venus. Venus is in Aries. And here we go. Let's examine where this transit is, in which house it's in your chart. So here we have Sagittarius. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's Aries in your 5th house. Venus is the symbol of, first of all, money, because it's about value. What do you value? Internally and externally. Venus is the planet that symbolizes love, compassion, empathy, cooperation. It's in your 5th house. The 5th house is the house of children, of creativity, self-expression, romance, love. So we have the planet of love in the house of love. Sexually, we have some kind of suppression going on of this sort of sexual impulse, which often happens when you put a lid on a boiling pot. It explodes. So you might be trying to suppress this kind of psychosexual energy, but at the same time, there's a counter urge to bring it out, to freely express it, to express your sexuality and to express your romantic impulse, your poetic side, your compassionate side, your loving side towards your children, towards your partner, significant other, or towards a significant love relationship. So we've got this kind of duality going on. Hot, cold, hot, cold. Should I not? It's a kind of like a tug of war, an internal tug of war that's going on. But Venus emboldens the 5th house issues. So, whereas you're dealing with very serious matters in the 8th house, in the 5th house, there's a impulse towards pleasure, pursuing things that give deep pleasure and meaning to life, joy, love. Maybe you're falling in love, and there's this kind of psychological battle internally as to how far you can go. You want to be attractive. You want to be attractive to the other. And you want to give your relationships a sense of freedom and creativity. But you're also under that kind of Mars stress in which you have to be very responsible, very circumspect, pulled in, careful, cautious, conservative. So you're going to feel this kind of yin-yang kind of internal emotional play, because this is in Aries. Aries is a fire sign. And you are a fire sign. And you would prefer to be more direct, to be more less cautious, more spontaneous. But there's something, it's like you're harnessed, sort of like beginning a race. You hear the bell go, or the gun fire to start the race, but you can't get out of the stall. You're stuck somehow. So there's this, if you understand, there's this movement in, out. What do I do? So I hope you understand what I'm trying to drive at. Let's move on into the tarot forecast to give some clarity to all of this. So welcome, Sag, to your tarot forecast for February. Let me shuffle, and while I do, I want to thank you very much for your support, however you can give it. And I want to also, I have many, or I used to have many, followers from Los Angeles. And having gone through the devastation of losing everything in the hurricanes in Florida, I tell you, it resonates at such a deep level with me. That people lose everything. I, at least, was able to get out with a few clothes and with a plan, vague as it is. I had the plan. But to be in a situation where you lose everything and you have nothing but the clothes on your back, it's just, it just tears my heart apart. And I'm so sorry for everyone. I've been, it's been 2 months, 2.5 months since my incident, or the hurricanes. And though I've come this far, to this place, it is certainly not as I imagined it would be. And I am in a rather dubious situation here, where it's difficult for me to do these videos the way I want to. As I said, that may be remedied in about a month or two. So I'm asking for your understanding and patience while I further my journey towards the fulfillment of my dream. And that is what I'm trying to do. I still need assistance, as does now so many. And I appreciate your support, your love, your kindness, your compassion. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so let's begin your forecast, your tarot forecast. Give me a moment while I get comfortable. All right. In the position of the overall mood or energy of the month. Well, here we go. This is Mars. This is the equivalent of what Mars would be retrograde in the 8th house. The Emperor. The Emperor. The Emperor is the symbol of government. He's the ruler of the empire. He's the symbol of law and order, authority, conservative values, responsibility, the fulfillment of duty. He fights to protect what he has, his property, his kingdom, his empire. He seeks balance, order. So there's this incredible impulse for security, structuring, dealing with regulations and protocol, being dutiful, protecting. But by the way, Cancer is symbolized by the crab. The crab has a hard outer shell, protecting its soft inner flesh. So protecting yourself in ways in these areas of the 8th house. And doing it with a very rational energy. Conservative energy. That is the overall mood of the month of February for you. So let's see. What is your specific challenge for the month? Remember, this is a 4-card spread. The second card is about what is challenging you. What's challenging you is love. This is the minor arcana love card, the Ace of Cups. And this is Venus in the 5th house. Love. What more can one say? Perhaps many of you will be falling in love. This is a card of romance, of beginning a relationship, of sexual attraction. And there's let me show you, there's a hand coming out of a cloud. It's sort of like out of nowhere, which is why the implication is love at first sight. But it's also about emotional healing, about overcoming difficulties and retaining emotional balance. You must allow yourself to be more emotionally vulnerable in relationships. Not to be, because we have this is a stark contrast between the two, as we have a stark contrast in the energies between Mars and Venus. Here we have a very hard, through the Emperor, a very hard attitude, in which you must deal with very serious matters. And here we have a very poetic, faith-filled energy. One that demands spontaneity and vulnerability, emotional vulnerability. That's your challenge. Quite a challenge, really, for you. So you've got to deal with things on a very pragmatic level, keeping your empire running smoothly. And on the other hand, your challenge is this sort of almost sudden introduction to a side of your psyche that is more feminine. The implication is that, again, there's this tug of war between these two impulses. You want very much to sort of steep yourself in pleasurable pursuits, almost as a counterweight, counterbalance to the obligations that you have, as expressed by the Emperor and Mars in the 8th. So this duality is what we're talking about this month. The yin yang. It could also just simply be about weddings, births, trying to start a family, trying to be a good romantic partner, being fair and compassionate and empathetic, and at the same time to fulfill all your duties and responsibilities. So let's move on to the position of the unexpected. All right. The unexpected, the surprise element, that which you perhaps didn't anticipate happening. Kind of like the kind of an introduction of an event that was simply unanticipated. The Fool. The Fool is an absolutely beautiful symbol. So we have this sort of carefree spirit. You can see that because of the coloring. There's the sun above him. He's looking up while he's at the very edge of some kind of precipice that he's going to fall off of. But he's completely oblivious of the dangers. So it's about taking a leap of faith, about trusting in the good, in God, the good, trusting in yourself, trusting in love. Venus in the 5th house. This is about a journey. It's in the position of the unexpected, but there's also something extraordinarily spontaneous and unexpected about the symbol itself. So it's doubled in its implication. In the area of love, or even in the area of your financial concerns, those more serious concerns about the transformation of your finances or your dealings with governmental services, you take a leap of faith. You do something impulsive and spontaneous. And within your relationships also, or even within your partnership, you do something spontaneous, something unprecedented. You bring a fresh perspective into your love life, and maybe even into your the way you run your own kingdom, your own empire. You may be embracing a new opportunity, the new opportunity represented by the Ace of Cups. Be that a romantic opportunity or a creative opportunity or an opportunity to express yourself in some way. So you launch yourself on this journey. This is a very vibrant, youthful energy. You try new things. Maybe you try new things with your partner. Or you try new things with this new romantic engagement. You take a bold step forward and shake up old patterns of emotional behavior. There's a tremendous opportunity in February for spiritual, emotional, and even pragmatic change. This is extremely exciting for you. Allow it to be. Be vulnerable. Be open. Let it happen. So let's see what the final outcome is. Oh, this is beautiful. Celebration. So the reading, let me find these cards. Where have I hidden them? There's the other one. There it is. Hold on. Got stuck underneath it. There we go. So we have the Three of Cups is the final outcome. This is celebration. Celebration of an event. Community cooperation. Community celebration. Emotional connection. So it could be a celebration of a relationship. It could be the celebration of a marriage, a birth, the launching of a creative project, teamwork, emotional fulfillment, being in a creative, cooperative collaboration. It's celebration of life itself. And the reading, if we waited, you see, we've got the Emperor in all his seriousness, his dogmatism, his devotion to duty, his acquiescence to authority, balanced or counterbalanced by pure spontaneity, faith, risk-taking, a belief in the good, a belief in your ability to overcome, and a fearlessness in the face of perhaps what would be obvious danger. Trust. We have celebration and we have love, the beginning of new love, a new journey of love and compassion. So that, by far, outweighs the ultra-seriousness of the obligations that you may have this month, the responsibilities you have. You will fulfill those. But at the same time, you're going to have a lot of fun. You're going to enjoy life. And you will fulfill yourself on deep emotional and spiritual levels. So, that is your forecast for the month of February. And I thank you very much for coming to the reading and for helping by liking, sharing, and subscribing, and for whatever donation or participation in my personal forecasts. There's links below. I thank you from the bottom of my heart as I too continue my journey towards my dream. Thank you. Namaste. I'll see you next month.